If it gets too hot, way me dices, or if it's because it's not cold, right?
No, this is perfect.
Yeah.
I'm good this way because it's better for pinches anginas. Oh, me la quiero chingar, pero tardito. Actually, I'm gonna open it now.
There's plenty more, way.
Sí, pero para la garganta, güey.
Simón.
Si está muy fría, me va a chingar ahorita. I'm gonna start talking like this. Are we recording already?
Yeah, I just hit record, way, pero tú chingale, way.
Vale.
So, para que te hagas adjust eso, way, just kind of hold this down, and just in case you want to move it, para que no se vaya a voltear la mesita, way. In case.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
No, I'm good right there.
You're good?
I can hear good audio and
yeah.
We're good.
Chris, how's life?
Good.
So I had to schedule Chris for a podcast porque si no se deja ver.
Come on, no, güey. I started this with you, and I was the first one on your show.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: since you started this with me, and then you were here when the guy that was running for president, and now you're here at this current stage, what's the difference that you see now from the beginning to now?
Difference as in what?
Difference in just overall, just maybe the production, maybe
everything. Way I mean,
yeah.
we, you know. I want to stop saying we because it's all you. But from when you started,
yeah.
I mean, you're talking about we were in your living room.
Yeah.
We had, I think as a headset, it was just the earphones.
Yeah, from the iPhone.
From the iPhone. And I think we had one like audio regulator.
Yeah.
And that was it, way.
Which I still have that one.
You still have that one?
And I think that's probably the one that's most affordable. But the thing is, a lot of people, they overthink things and they feel like they need to get the most high-tech equipment. And like these cameras that I have, even though they're in my point of view, they're producing good quality, but they're not the most or the latest cameras out there. These are like 3-4 years old. And then I still have that little camera that I started with. Well, at least one of them.
One of them. And that light.
Yeah, exactly. So I haven't really upgraded. I mean, we built this freaking...
we should do a podcast about the products.
Yeah, I do want to. I think
it's been going on. It's been going strong.
yeah, Simon. And that one's only like $300.
Only?
Yeah.
Yo no gastaría en eso, pero bueno.
Nah, ¿por qué no?
Because I don't do podcasts, güey.
Or like you're not really into social media that much, are we?
No, I don't think I am anymore. As much as I was when Facebook came out.
Yeah.
I don't think I am anymore.
Well, why do you think that is, way?
I think it was good in the beginning because you're able to keep in touch with your family who's far away, like la familia que está en Mexico.
Yeah.
But then once you kind of find out how they're doing and you see them posting and their stories and everything, it's kind of like, okay, I get to see how they are.
Yeah.
I get to see they're okay.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily need to keep on posting or asking or anything.
Right. I guess in the beginning stages, it was cool. Like, oh, shit, you get to see what they're doing. Now it's like, fuck, they're always there. Now, let me ask you this, or let me tell you this.
Okay.
Would you agree or disagree with me that Facebook became like the app para las tías?
Sí, güey.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
For like the older generation, because I feel like you don't like, for like my relatives, los que están en Mexico y eso, my tías, right, who are older, they don't know much about doing reels. They don't know much about doing effects on the videos, on the uploads.
Right.
Or emojis or lettering or any of that. So they go down to the basics, way.
Yeah.
It's just like, hola, ¿cómo estás? Here's a photo of what I'm eating. Here's a photo where I'm at, or a little video of whatever I'm watching or driving through.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the end of that.
Yeah.
And I think everybody else is just... I think there's just so many platforms now.
Simon.
It's just it's much more difficult to just focus on one.
Right.
Like we have Snapchat. We have Instagram. We have... there's Twitter. There's...
Which is X now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. When did that change?
It's X now.
X.
Which Elon Musk owns it now.
He owns it now? Okay.
Yeah.
And then what else did we have back then? Or now? I mean, there's just so many apps. It's like, it's almost...
It's kind of hard to keep up with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, right? So, and maybe you can give me your perspective, right? But for me, since I love doing content creating and all that, you really have to be on top of things, right? Whenever I post a reel or whatnot, I have to post it on Instagram first. I always post on Instagram first, and then TikTok, then YouTube for YouTube Shorts,
TikTok,
Facebook, and it's just like all different platforms. You have to
YouTube.
just, you have to be putting in your little seeds everywhere. Just you never know which one's gonna take off. So for your point of view, do you think it just got kind of like overwhelming, like hard to keep up with?
Honestly, I think it comes down to how much, what you get out of it. You know, I social media was to, in a way, was to show off what you were doing or to keep in touch with family members, and that in my mind, that's kind of what I'm limited to.
Okay.
I never envision using social media for like my personal business or my personal likes or nothing.
Right.
I don't like. ¿Cómo te puedo decir, güey? Like I didn't see it. I didn't see it working to my advantage. So I didn't. I kind of just at the very minimum. I mean, you on the other end. I mean, you're actively you're on all platforms.
Yeah.
So you have to be. You have to stay on top of it. So, but let me ask you this:
Okay.
Why be on the internet? Why put yourself out there?
For me, I really it's I feel like it's almost a calling way. Well, one for me is just I feel like I want to put my story out there. I want to like show. Well, one I've always been creative, and anything anything that pushes me to be creative. Before it used to be the artwork, which I still want to go back to doing artwork. But I feel like this whole year was a transition into learning the whole podcast. But now since I'm doing reels and TikToks and doing edits, it kind of feeds my creative like want to produce something, right? So because of podcasts, I've been able to do different reels, which kind of like it cures that craving of creating something. So since I'm not doing artwork, it's just like I'm creating those reels and TikToks and edits that I feel like satisfied at the end of the day. And it's almost weird because I think this week has been the week that I hardly post like in any social media platforms. And actually, I was just thinking about this right now before you came. As I was showering, I was thinking like, man, like I really feel disappointed in myself for not posting this whole week. I posted one or two, but I got to a point that I'm posting every single day. And me not posting this week, I feel like I'm not accomplished. It's freaking weird, right?
But why?
I just feel like, I don't know.
I know you have a craving.
Yeah.
But would you say to a certain extent it becomes an addiction?
I wouldn't say it's an addiction. I just feel like I'm very goal orientated, that I feel like I'm letting myself down because I want to be a high producer. And if I really want this goal of mine and dream of mine of like living off from social media, then a day of me not posting, it's a day that I'm falling behind.
So it's the hustle.
Yeah.
You gotta stay on the hustle, otherwise you feel like you're not okay.
Yeah.
See, well, let me stop you there. That you have a purpose, and you have your purpose is to live off social media at some point or monetize off of it.
Right.
I don't.
Okay.
I think that's what, when, as going back to your first question, what do you see has changed? Everything has changed.
Okay.
Your production has changed. You've added audio. You've added background. I mean, you built this entire studio just for this way.
We built it, we.
Well, we built it, but
Yeah.
You put it together. I just came to help.
Yeah.
But from where you started to where you're now, I wouldn't say that a day that you don't produce or a day that you're not posting, I don't see it as defeat, or I don't see like you're slacking.
Yeah.
Like by far, I think how many people do you know of? I don't know any.
Yeah.
That build their own studio. Most people go rent one. Most
Yeah.
people go, borrow one, or they'll turn a living room or a garage into a studio.
Right.
You built this specifically for your production.
Mm-hmm.
So this here is still putting out work. The days that you take off,
Yeah.
it's here.
And you know what? The days that I've been taking off, it's because we're building the laundry room over there. So it's just like, no, I'm never chilling. I can't just not do anything. it bugs me. Like at times I feel guilty if I'm not doing anything productive.
But is it okay? Well, then you have to separate. Is it a matter of you not being productive, or is it a matter of you being on social media? Because you're producing either way,
right?
So is it more of a craving of not doing anything? That's probably you have to constantly be like doing something.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I really feel like even my grandma used to be the same way. I don't know if it kind of like boils down from like having those type of genes or whatnot. Mm-hmm. But man, even ella se iba a Tijuana, she would go to TJ even twice a day a agarrar nopales, a comprar dulces, y los vendía from her living room. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you ever knew, right? Se llama Feliciana, but they used to call her Doña Chana. Mm-hmm. And she used to sell abon, she used to sell candies from the living room.
I think when I met you, ya falleció.
Sí, so I feel like she was always on the go, and I feel like I'm the same way in a sense. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, as far as me having to post on social media, I just really feel like there's two different lives, right? And I think eventually it's going to move on to, if you're not on social media, then you're kind of falling behind in a sense, and not falling behind just in life, but how can I say it?
It's your artistic hunger way.
Yeah.
Y te voy a decir por qué.
Okay.
With all respect.
Yeah, go for it.
What you're saying right now is, like, you want to stay ahead of the game, you want to stay in the game, whatever.
Right.
But that's only relevant to you.
Yeah, it's true. I mean? Yeah.
It's only relevant to you. Like if you bring this up to anybody who's not into this, they'll be like, "Oh, chido, way. Like that's cool, you know? Like,
that's crazy.
You're doing your thing." But for you, it's just like, "Oh, I'm not producing. I'm not posting. I'm not putting a video out there. I'm not sharing stories. I'm not sharing my life or whatever." But I think it comes down to your artistic side way.
Yeah.
Porque desde que te conozco, you've always been doing something.
Yeah.
See, let's talk about our parties.
Simón.
It was like back in the...
Before we jump into that, we'll do the intro. Es más, we'll do the intro. Introduce yourself a little bit so people can get a feel of who you are, because there's probably new people that probably have no idea who Chris is. Okay. Then we'll jump into that. Cool?
Okay. Cool.
Are you ready? Welcome to Hoy No Más Podcast with Angel Houseman.
Okay, so we'll give a brief introduction to Chris, right? I'll give a brief, and then you can just follow up with a little bit more details.
Okay.
So for the people that don't know, Chris has been like probably one of the very, very few friends that I've been knowing for quite a long time. He's been there when I've been like super, super depressed, when I've been like having a lot of successes, accomplishments, things like that. He even went to Sinaloa with me. Mm-hmm. To my dad's side of the family over there to visit over there. I think you probably know, almost all my life.
Probably. I mean, we've been knowing each other for, I'll say more than almost 20 years or close to. Probably more than 20.
Since like junior. I was a junior or something like in high school, right? Mm-hmm. So anyways, so Chris is my very good friend. He, like we mentioned earlier, he helped me out build this studio alongside from my my suegro. So we built this. He would come right after work, 1-2 hours, work with us, and then he would take off, whatnot. But yeah, he was for sure a big part of building the studio. We started the podcast together. You came a few episodes, and now you're back here. I do want you to come on more because I think you're a very good speaker, and you have, alongside from you being a good speaker, you know me pretty well. Mm-hmm. And at times we have a lot of similarities, but then you live a whole different life. Like for instance, right now we're comparing about social media. Mm-hmm. You live in a whole different like world, I guess, in a sense. So It's always good to see a different perspective.
Correct.
So anyways, Chris, if you just want to give a brief introduction of yourself, and then we can take it from there.
Hi everybody, I'm Chris. I mean, if you guys know Angel, you probably heard about me. We go back a long time. I want to say junior high. Yeah. Probably. Well, I think I don't know. There's this memory that I knew you from middle school.
I think so too, right?
But then we never really hung out up until high school.
Yeah, high school.
So we're talking If you guys want to do the math, we're talking 2002, 2003.
Yeah, because I graduated 2006.
And I'm 05, and we're in 2023, so
Yeah,
look at the it's
so
20 years,
almost 20 years, right?
almost 20, if not probably a little bit more than that. But yeah, we have a lot of similarities. You know, you grew up in the Sherman Heights area.
Sherman, then Logan.
I grew up in Shelltown in 38. So
Yeah.
you know, we were always kind of hanging around the same town.
Yeah.
Same area. Then we went to high school together, and then from there, everybody kind of did their own thing.
Yeah.
But we always kept in touch.
Yep.
We always kept, seeing each other, hanging out. I don't know if our girlfriends are gonna get mad, but at one point we dated chicks that were sisters.
I'll make sure I mute all of this right now. Right now, you guys are just gonna see Chris just
Right. So yeah, man, we go way back, and as I was mentioning before, I have been able to see your progress.
Okay.
I mean, and we'll start with. I remember you used to play guitar, way. Once we started hanging out in the beginning, tocabas guitarra, way. Like, okay, artistic. Oh, because in high school, the schools were separated into different schools.
Yeah.
So I think you went to
performing arts. Yeah.
And I went to business.
Uh-huh.
Which is something that I've always pursued. But you did that. Lo me acuerdo. You started airbrushing.
Yeah.
Started airbrushing in high school, and then
Mr. Fastball gave me my first airbrush set. The carpenter teacher.
It was a wood shop.
Wood shop. Yeah.
There
we go. He gave me my first airbrush.
Fíjate, güey, que yo hice muebles con ese teacher, güey. Muebles que I still have. Like
You still have it?
I still have, güey. I have like 3 or 4. I have a desk that I made. I have a little stool that I made for my sister. A little bookshelf.
Dang.
A CD case rack. People don't know what CDs are anymore.
Yeah.
Pero pues le cabía como 50 CDs, güey. Era all handcrafted, güey. All woodworking. And then what else did I make? I think I left like a nightstand that I never finished. I never got to the clear coat and the painting and or the wood staining and the clear coat.
Yeah.
So I remember you. Fíjate, so you took wood shop.
Yeah.
I took wood shop.
Yeah.
And then I remember you used to do airbrushing.
Yeah.
And then we got into
The party scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those of you guys that know about the party scene, I mean, those parties were something different.
Yeah, a lot different
than now.
Do you think those type of parties go on nowadays or no? We probably don't know because we're a lot older, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, somos señores, güey.
Yeah.
But do you feel like those type of parties go on? Probably not, right?
Not really. I saw, going back to social media, there was a, and if you guys did this or heard about it, comment on the video. There was raves, apparently, going on in the like 05, 09 period. There was raves going underneath the Mission Valley, the Mission Valley bypass. There's water, there's sewers.
The fuck?
Sewers, pinche hoyo, te metes como los pinches Ninja Turtles. You would go in there and then it kind of opens up to like, like a height, like a normal, I don't know, 6 foot, 7 foot height.
Yeah.
People used to throw speakers, DJs, and everything, and just to rave in the sewers.
Recently?
No, back in the day.
I never heard of one of those.
I didn't either, and we were, we were in the party scene. I'll share the post with you, and I was like, what? Like, se miraba chingón, güey. The acoustics inside the tunnels, se escucha bien chingón. And I was like, when was this? I thought that was recent, but apparently this was back in like 04 or 05, like 04 to 09, and I've never heard about it.
Yeah.
The only thing we did was to go out and like get houses and rent out backyards and empty apartments and whatever and party that way. But you did that. We did that. And then during that period, you were airbrushing shirts.
Yeah, for the party cruise.
For the party cruise. And you were airbrushing, ¿te acuerdas de los 350s?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I used to airbrush the 350s.
Let them know what the 350s were.
So for us people with low budgets back in the day, in a Walmart, vendían unos, they kind of look like Vans now.
Right, yeah, like all clear white.
Just clear white or clear black. They're Vans, basically. Nowadays they're Vans. but it was like no particular brand. They were just a normal shoe, and there were $3.50.
Right. So everybody started calling them 350s.
So this is like a canvas for Angel.
Yeah.
It was a canvas for him porque ahí, güey, any of the crew designs that we used to wear, you used to airbrush on the shoes too. And I remember people coming to you with the shirt, and they're like, "Oh, I got 350s. Can you airbrush 350s to match the shirt?"
Yeah.
Boom, you would do that.
Yeah.
And then it got crazy because then people started airbrushing the hats.
Yeah.
That I never did because, new arrows are expensive.
Yeah,
so I never messed up a hat, but me acuerdo que hiciste eso, güey. And then, was it during that time you opened up your shop, no? And in a farmer's market?
Yeah.
You opened up a shop?
I think it was right after that.
Right after that?
Around the same time, actually.
I think you had it open.
No, it was around the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I don't know if you were monetizing off the parties or not, but you somehow opened up your shop, and you were people. I remember guys from crews used to go over to farmers market to your shop and leave off the stuff, and you could airbrush.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Me acuerdo de eso, güey. Después de ahí, what you do? You close that up.
Yeah, because that's when farmers market was going downhill. Like farmers market El Bazar was the spot, way. I feel like every Saturday and Sunday se llenaba, way.
Mm-hmm.
And fuck, like at one point it was like the spot to be, right? And after church, la gente, las familias iban a desayunar ahí, que comer, estaban las maquinitas, all kinds of things. So I opened up my shop there, but at the time that I opened it, and that's when a lot of the businesses were going downhill for whatever reason. I don't know why.
I think the area, the area became gentrification. White people coming in.
Yeah.
No offense to my white people. I got a bunch of white friends, but
the
area just started changing. Things got a little bit more expensive, and I think the people that grew up in or were in that area, it got a little bit more expensive to keep the shops open.
Yeah, now it's a Walmart.
Yeah. So there you go. See, corporate America comes over and takes
freaking crazy.
Takes mom and pop shops away. But I remember you did that, and then after that, it closed down. And I don't know. I want to say. I don't know if it was around that time. I think you went to Hawaii, and then I want to say during that time your artistic side kind of.
Yeah, because I was more into working.
You were working.
Oh, okay, that. And then, I was working more, but then I got in a toxic relationship. Super toxic. So I stopped, like, I let myself go away. So and I think I picked up artwork right after that again. So
the art, it's just you to go to way. This is that craving, that hunger that you have for artwork or anything artistic, period. Okay, that I remember seeing that kind of stop. And then I feel like everything after that way is just a blur, and all I remember is going to Vegas and partying.
Yeah.
And then coming back, working more, and going to Vegas again. And then it kind of blurs out again. Yeah. Fast forward way. I think that's when you, from all that work you put in when you bought your home.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You bought your home. Y ya cuando estabas aquí, empezaste otra vez con los...
artwork again.
Artwork.
Yeah.
Was it I know it was canvas. You were painting and doing airbrushing in canvases.
Simón.
And then from there, you started doing the wood, the burning.
Oh, yeah, did a little bit of that.
Yeah, chinga cosas, güey, pero it's all art, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, you have it in you, eh? I think everybody who knows you, there's that artistic side of you, eh?
Yeah.
Eres un artista, o sea, si es pintando o lo que sea. Y ahora ya nomás, en vez de hacerlo manual, lo digitaste. That's not a word. You made it digital, way. You transferred over
into the podcast now.
The digital world, way.
Yeah. And to believe it or not, I still, like, now that I have the podcast, not necessarily unlocked because it's still freaking work, right? Like the conversation and all that is cool, but then the clips, the editing and all that, like I have it like a little bit more fine tuned now, but there's still work behind it, right? But my goal and we can touch on our goals for or New Year's resolution. So don't forget about that New Year's resolution. We can talk about that. But I want to do podcast, one podcast a week, artwork, vlogs, and continue working around the house. That's my goal.
Okay.
And we can touch a little bit more into that. But yeah, I want to continue doing that. I just feel like, at least from my point of view, I'm not going to give up until it hits, or at least I know I never gave up.
Okay.
So I feel like I've always had the mindset. So
Yeah, because you keep going.
Yeah.
If it's not one thing, it's another.
yeah,
You have it in you. You look at it's what drives you. You know, that's
Yeah.
what drives you. Pero, si me dijeran a mí, hey, Chris, you're going to do a podcast? No. I said, no, it
Yeah.
doesn't drive me. I'll participate,
yeah.
you know, but it's not something that I see myself doing. Like, I don't have the initiative to do it, to be honest with you.
Why is that? Okay, so let me ask you this.
Okay.
Why do you like participating, like coming over, talking, doing the whole podcast thing, but it doesn't interest you on, like, not necessarily starting one, but being more into it?
Honestly, it's the work behind it. Way.
Yeah,
People see the final product.
right.
People see the videos that you upload. People see the audio, the stickers, whatever, everything you put into it.
Simón.
Pero es una chinga, güey. Y yo lo he visto lo que tú haces.
Yeah.
That part does not interest me at all. But one, I don't have the equipment. Two,
So let's say if you had the equipment.
I just no, güey, no.
Okay.
It just te digo that it just doesn't.
So no te interesa para
No
nada.
me interesa, güey.
Okay.
O sea, me da hueva pensar que grabar, edit,
Yeah.
put it together, overlap the audio,
Yeah.
do the lighting, do this, do that, to
Yeah.
put it together, and then you put it out there. And I mean, even this, we put ourselves out there. Anytime you're on social media, you're putting yourself out there to be criticized.
Yeah, exactly.
There's always gonna be haters. There's always gonna be people like, ese güey, ¿qué se cree? O, está loco, nadie lo hace, you know?
Simón.
Or este güey, like, who's him? What is he? You know what? But
Yeah.
you just putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
And that part I don't care either, because everyone's
Nice.
entitled
I like that.
to their opinion. But for me, it's the work that goes behind it. Like I just don't feel like I have the drive to be doing all of that. Like, ¿para qué?
¿Sabes qué, güey? Antes I would have been like, the fuck? Like, nah, Chris, like, you have to put in work. And now I almost appreciate that, way. Like, you know, like, because I get a different perspective. And something as simple as what he just said right now about, you know, I was probably being a little too hard on myself in a sense of like, hey, I haven't uploaded anything. And you're like, hey, like, maybe it's because it's all in my head.
It's
Way.
in your head, way.
Yeah.
It's in your head.
Let me stop this right now porque we're at the 30-minute mark and
Then it's what stops. Oh.
the camera, ya están. So it's just so you know, it's but by the way, just for anybody that's into like learning, wanting to do the whole podcast, usually cameras stop at 30 minutes, 29 minutes and 30 seconds. So I just restarted the cameras right now. I have these little clickers here, which I just turn, I press record from these clickers. There's other ways to do the whole recording without it stopping, but you have to be recording remotely to the actual laptop. But then you have to mess with.
¿Y quién chingo va a saber eso?
Yeah.
You would know it because
Yeah.
you're into the
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm
like
into
that's,
it.
I'm looking at it now. That's pretty cool. But
Yeah.
like that type of work,
Yeah.
the work that goes behind production. I'm sorry.
Simón.
I just no me llama la atención, güey. It's just like, it's like
Yeah.
I feel like como para qué,
Simón.
you know. And that's like I'm not bashing on what
Yeah,
you do. It's
yeah.
just like that. I think that's what makes everybody different. Everybody's got different interests. Everybody's got something that you know your calling is different. Like for me,
Right.
for example, I love working on cars.
Yeah.
I love working. I like not breaking, but pulling engines apart, putting them back like a puzzle. Way.
Yeah.
Y así me puedo aventar 2-3 horas desarmando un pinche carro, un motor o lo que sea, tumbar la transmisión.
Yeah.
Pero me gusta, güey. ¿Y qué gano de eso? Nada, güey. Pinches smashing my fingers,
Yeah.
getting dirty.
Yeah. But it's probably something that you just like zone out with, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
te metes ahí, you solved it, como dices, you have this puzzle that you pretty much took apart and then you have to put it back on together.
And make sure it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we don't have to go into this, but would it be like a year back ago you did the whole que fuiste que te leyeran tus past lives or something like that?
It was the, what was it called? The reading de Los Ángeles.
Los Ángeles, right?
¿Cómo se dice? Yeah, era como una... Oh, it's going to come to me. Va a ser la lectura de Los Ángeles.
Yeah, pretty much.
Algo así.
Yeah. Are you able to go into that? Like, pretty much go through your experience with that?
Yeah.
Because it kind of ties into you, like doing mechanic stuff and all that, right? A little bit?
Just doing more of what... Yeah, I guess so. Doing more of what I like. Because I'm not a mechanic by trade.
Yeah.
But I love working on cars. And there's a lot of people that I've been able to help.
You've helped me in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I also messed up too, remember? But
Hincha aceite por todo.
se me fue el tapón, güey, no mames. Pero sí, güey. I think that stems from where I come from, güey, and how I grew up. You know, grew up in the hood, you know, and my mom siempre trabajando, and my dad too. But we had everything.
Yeah.
Mi hermano y todos, güey, pero I knew there was people that had more. So I grew up kind of like limited to like financial things that I wanted or ¿qué se puede decir, güey? Pues a lo mejor queríamos más, pero sabías que pues, tus papás no te podían dar para más. Okay. And one of the things once you had my own car, güey, is when shit broke down, tenías que llevar al mecánico, güey.
Yeah.
Que el mecánico estaba caro.
Expensive,
que un pinche oil change que pues en ese tiempo, ¿no? Que 20, 30 bolas. No, pues minimum wage back then was like what, $5-6 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the un alternator, y que un distributor, y que change cabin filters and air filters and all this stuff adds up. So my necessity of not or amor codo, güey, pero en realidad pues no tenía el dinero, so I had to learn to do it.
Yeah.
To do it myself, to save myself some bucks.
Simón.
And then that kind of transferred over to other people because just like you like the whole social media, there's people that don't, but they're good in something else.
Right.
Y pues yo cuando tengo la oportunidad de ayudar a alguien que me diga, hey Chris, se me quedó el carro, ahorita voy. Hey Chris, dead battery, ahí voy. Que si es tu alternator, que es el distributor cap, lo que sea, test it out, change it out. I usually don't charge people because I feel like it's a blessing. Like, cuando puedes ayudar a alguien por algo que tú sabes, it's a blessing. But going back to the original question, I don't know por qué lo hice, güey, no me acuerdo. I think I was going through it's like a rough time with the relationship I was in. Okay,
did you do that before ayahuasca or that was after the fact?
That was after.
So you did ayahuasca first.
Right.
And then you did the reading?
The reading, yeah. Okay.
But by the way, Chris and myself, we did a whole podcast on Chris's experience of ayahuasca. This is not your experience is not even on this Hoy Nomás podcast one. It's on my personal YouTube channel.
It's on your blogs?
Yeah, on the vlogs one. Because at that point, I didn't even have this channel.
Right.
So if anybody's ever interested on Chris's story, which I think is pretty dope, it's very interesting. Especially at that time, Chris was like, it took Chris 2 years for you even to consider doing ayahuasca.
Right.
And then once you did ayahuasca, did you feel like you needed more answers? That's why you did the whole reading, or?
No, not necessarily. It took me 2 years because you told me about it. And I was like, no, esta madre es droga. No lo voy a hacer. But eventually, I wouldn't even say that I fell into the pressure because you go to it, when you want to.
Right.
But eventually I did it. And then after that, something in my mind just clicked. And, if I was able to do ayahuasca, which in my mind I fought for 2 years because I thought it was like a drug.
Yeah.
That I didn't want to be doing drugs or whatever because I just never do them. But I was against it big time.
Yeah.
But then once it's like, es como que...
¿Sabes lo que venía a mi mente, güey?
Sí,
like, ya que hiciste ayahuasca, ya te vas a meter de todo.
Vale madre. No. Sí, es que se rompe un sello, güey. Sí, se rompe un sello. Like, ya hice esa madre, pues, ¿qué más cuesta que vaya que me hagan una lectura?
Yeah.
I didn't want to do the cards, even though I was thinking about them. So, I heard through a friend que cuando tienes problemas, pues, puedes ir a que te hagan una lectura de ángeles. Y que I was like, okay, what does that mean? Supposedly is it a psychic o una, no sé cómo se le puede decir.
Yeah.
Someone who can have connection con los ángeles.
Yeah.
Que supuestamente todos tenemos un ángel que nos cuida, un ángel que hace podcast. todos tenemos un ángel, güey, que nos guía en el camino y todo eso, ¿no? So it's like, I'm Catholic, and when I was younger, you kind of grew up with that. Oh, que tu angelito te guarda, te cuide. Oh, que el ángel de te guarda te guíe por buen camino, lo que sea. So in my head, I was like, pues toda mi vida crecí con eso, hasta de mi mamá, ¿no? Que el ángel, que rézale a el ángel de tu guarda, que quién sabe qué. So then I thought, it was like, I'm not drinking anything. I'm not ingesting anything. I don't have to smoke anything. Like, I'm just going to go see someone who apparently has a connection in the spiritual realm.
Yeah.
Y te puede ayudar como a sanar. And I was like, why not? Why not? So I think ayahuasca was kind of like the precursor for me to be able to go and try something else.
Mm-hmm.
Then I did la lectura de Los Ángeles. It was actually in Tijuana.
Okay.
Me lo recomendó una amiga y fui allá. Y es algo raro, güey. Te digo, nomás lo hice una vez.
Yeah.
Y ciertas cosas te quedas así como que, no, esa madre no. And then
really?
and other things you're like, what? That's crazy how things kind of play out eventually. But
go ahead, sorry.
But also it's like anything in the universe, you know, you think about it, you really want it, you call it upon it, and eventually it happens.
Right.
You put it out there for it to happen, so.
Okay. So, is there something that you can share through that lecture, la lectura que te hicieron? O algo que digas, fuck, me dijeron esto y me pude conectar.
No, well, to start off, I me acuerdo que it was at a spa, right?
Oh, really?
It was at a spa. Yeah, you go to a spa, and if I remember the name of it, I'll throw it out there. But it was in a spa, and it's like a normal spa. Tienen mesas, the masseuses and whatever, and then
does it start with an H?
the sauna. No. Does it end with a K? Well, it wouldn't be a K. It would be
a G.
G. And then so you go in there, you request your service. Okay, masaje. No, pues vengo una lectura de ángeles. And they're like, ¿quién te dijo? O ¿quién te... So prior to this, my friend had texted the lady, and they kind of already knew it was coming. Because it's not like a service that they put out there. Okay. For people to know. So you would only go knowing that they're expecting you. Okay. It's not like you can show up to the spa and like, oh, quiero hablar con...
Yeah, it's not like they're promoting it out there.
They're not promoting it because a lot of people won't believe it and you don't want to put yourself out there. But fui, güey, y me acuerdo que me dijo, pues, it was relaxing. It was like a massage, güey. O sea, you go down to your... you take your shirt off, you keep your pants on, y ya te acuestan, y te ponen aceites y todo. Entonces ya me puse un recording como de música, pues...
Like to meditate or something?
To meditate, pero música angelical, güey. I don't know how to say, just like chimes and different kind of like celestial songs or... Yeah. No words, just tunes, güey. Timon. And I guess at this point, the lady starts to connect with your angels but she can also see entities. And at that point, I remember laying flat down, like face flat on the table, like the massage parlor. Y me dice, oye, did your mom just pass away? And I was like, nope. Did you, like a motherly figure just pass away? And I'm like, no. They're like, oh, well, there's pues la señora habla español. Me dijo, es que está una señora aquí. Y me la describió, güey. Está así chaparrita, llenita, pelo chino. Dice, no, aquí está la mesa. Dice, y la puerta estaba como por aquí así, güey. No está aquí al lado de mí, dice, pero se está asomando hacia donde tú estás. Pero no le puedo dar permiso si tú no le das permiso. And I was like, that fucking tricked my mind away. I was like, I know, mom, it's like, you're messing with me. Yeah. Y me empezó a decir, le dije, no. Me dijo, no es tu mamá, alguien familiar, tía, alguien que haya fallecido recientemente. And I was like, I do have a tía. But I was like, can you describe how she is? Ya me la describió y nada que ver con mi tía que había fallecido. Entonces la señora me dijo, bueno, si no sabes quién es, no le voy a dar permiso de que esté aquí antes de que hable con tus ángeles. And I was like, I was like, no, esa madre está más trippy que,
that's crazy.
Que la pinche ayahuasca, güey, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I never saw any of that, in my ayahuasca experience. And pues ya empezó a hablar y en eso me dice, she said, tu ángel, es que está el ángel arcángel, el ángel, I forgot, there's 7 different angels. Pero se te asigna uno supuestamente pues, al nacer, güey. It's like a paradigm. Like, te toca y ese te va a seguir toda tu vida, ¿no? Me dijo, tu ángel de cabeza o tu ángel pues, que está contigo se llama tal cual. And I was like, okay. He's like, en este momento le voy a pedir que vengan los demás ángeles. And I was like, what? Like, I'm just sitting there with my eyes closed. Ya me había puesto los oils y me había mi masaje para que me relajara y todo eso. And she's got like incienso and I think sage and like other things going on in the room, right? And it's like, it's such a relaxing experience. But the talking behind it and the whole, there's a presence. Y hay como 2 ángeles y luego que llegó el otro y que ya están aquí los 5, los 6, no me acuerdo ni cuántos.
Yeah.
Y que qué les quieres pedir. And I was like, what the hell? Like, pues uno cuando dice, ay Dios ayúdame, o ay Dios ocupo esto, o ay Diosito esto. I was like, but you have angels that work for you. So like I'm tripping out because I was like, I've never even dreamed of having that type of experience or que alguien me hablara así. But yeah, long story short, it goes through. I went in there, and at the time I had a girlfriend and I was having issues with, and ya estamos señores, güey. But there was a point where I still do, but yo quería tener familia. Mm-hmm. But I was having issues with my girlfriend at the time, and one of my big questions was, am I gonna be a dad? You know, because I could say that before. I didn't dream of being a dad. I didn't want to be a dad because I was just busy doing my thing, traveling and partying and, you know, going to school and just getting to do me, right? Do my life.
Sorry about that.
And that was my question. I was like, oh, pues quiero saber si, you know, ¿pa cuándo? O con quién? Porque pues con la que tengo nomás no. Like, what's going on?
Simón.
And she went into this series of stories, way. De que me dijo, she gave me like a series of three or four past lives. And I won't go into the details of the stories, but one of those past lives that I apparently already had, I had already been a dad and I had 2 kids.
Damn.
And I had a boy and a girl, and I was like, what? And so I guess the message is like, hey, cálmate, o sea, no, you've already been a dad. You came back. I think we had this conversation before about not reincarnation, but you come back. You come back to this life and you keep, you know, you try to do or outdo yourself and do better this time around or whatever. Pero en una de mis vidas yo ya había sido papá. Me he dicho, cálmate, ya has sido papá. Tu necesidad de ser papá, o sea, va a pasar porque ya ha pasado antes, pero no es cuando tú quieres, es cuando te lo manden.
That's crazy.
And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, all right. So that, having that, one of those conversations was, I don't know how to explain it with the calma. It's just calming.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Drive, like it takes away the...
like a peace of mind, right?
Peace of mind, sí, güey. De que qué pinche urgencia tienes de ser papá. Ya lo fuiste, nomás que no sabes.
Yeah.
You were sent back to do something else differently, and you will eventually, but hold on. Everything comes when it has to come. If you would have told me that before, I'm like, nah, pues, you know, you put in the work and you pop a kid, done.
Yeah.
Pero pues nomás no se daba, y no se trata de ir por el mundo aventando chamacos. And I don't know, that's what I took away from it. It gave me 3 other scenarios, but I won't share those because like even till this day, they don't make any sense to me.
Right, you can't make sense out of it.
I can't make sense out of it. The only one that hit home was the one where like, hey, in this life you were apparently a farmer, and I had a wife, and I had a barn, and I had cattle, and I don't know what year this happened, but you know I had 2 kids.
Yeah. And
I was apparently very handy with like woodworking out of all things, and I used to help out my village and whatever.
What the hell? That's crazy. But that kind of resonates to what you were saying right now, that you help out people with like a lot of mechanic stuff for the people's cars.
Yeah, and it's like and it makes me feel good. It makes like I can, if I can relieve that worry off of people's head. Yeah. Or take away that stress, it's like that's my reward. Like if it makes me feel good.
Right.
Y sí, así cositas que te dicen, te digo que as you go through life, you're like, oh, that's what they meant. Or maybe, oh, this is where that fits in.
Yeah.
But the other 3 stories, I'm like, no. Cuando chinga? Like, that's...
Yeah.
One of them I'll tell you, I was era un grove de manzanas, güey. Una huerta de manzanas, que supuestamente yo era cuidador de un... Y que eso asocia.
It's crazy.
Que cuidaba animales y que cuidaba una huerta de manzanas, güey.
But even that, to somebody even to come up with that, like, either it's something that they probably tell often to somebody or it's so precise that maybe you did used to do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know, right? It's just one of those things that was just take the message and just, if it makes sense to you, then it is what it is.
And this is the part where I was talking about, that you expose yourself, you put yourself out there.
Yeah.
For people to be like, oh, este güey le lavaron la cabeza.
Yeah.
Oh, este güey le hicieron, le robaron el dinero. You know, but it's like, there's a lot of people out there that do way more things that we've done.
Yeah.
But it only makes sense to them.
Right. Pero ese mensaje que te dieron about like, hey, you've been a father before, just relax, the time's going to come. It helped you at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right. So it is what it is. A similar thing to a podcast, right? At times, something that you say or that I say or any of the other episodes, some people are going to be like, estos ways. But for other people, they can resonate with the message, and something that we say here can help somebody. So the message is going to be received for the people that need it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you how I went about that was me not wanting to get the... Como cuando te leen las cartas, güey. Que el tarot.
Yeah.
Porque según yo, que el tarot es del diablo. Y yo acá en mi mundo de persinado, de que, ay, voy a hacer todo bien. Dije, no, pues no voy a ir a hacer cosas del diablo.
Yeah.
Pero una lectura de ángeles, eso no es del diablo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was appealing to me, and that's how it captured me to go over and get my...
Because it was kind of like a step below that.
It was a step below, like, I guess, speaking or talking or to the devil, güey, o no sé cómo le puedo decir eso.
Yeah.
Y ahora te digo, you put these stories out there, so le cuentas a la gente, y hay gente que te va a creer, hay gente que le va a entrar la duda, hay gente que va a decir, pues no se escucha tan mal, lo voy a calar.
Simón.
Y hay gente que te va a decir, está bien loco ese güey. No, le lavaron la cabeza o le robaron el dinero, whatever.
Yeah.
But it worked for me. It put my mind at ease. Y pues me la he llevado tranquilo.
So let me ask you this. You've done ayahuasca. You did the reading, right? Do you feel like after ayahuasca and through that experience, ya has cambiado tu manera de pensar? Porque I feel like antes eras más cerrado a esas opciones or even to consider those things, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
At your current stage in life, are you more open? Do you question things now more? Do you have more of an open mind, or how do you see things now?
I think my nature is just to question everything. I don't, you know me. It's like, you describe me como un libro, güey.
But that's what I was going to say. I think before you were more by the book.
Yeah.
Or by the science.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like now there has been a shift in you that now, you did ayahuasca, way.
Yeah.
You did those lectures. Now is there a shift really? Because I almost saw a shift, and you think you posted something on Facebook. You were asking, hey, who are these two gentlemen? Like, because it was a post, I think about like some sort of like herbal medicine, and it was Dr. Sevi, right?
Right.
And you're like, oh man, like who are these people? Like, because it captivated whatever message it was. So in my mind, I'm like, like Chris is having a whole like transition into, I guess, learning more of like something out of the norm of science, right?
Right.
Am I?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I did open up to, I mean, just from trying ayahuasca, because it took me 2 years to make sense of it in my head.
Yeah.
And then I want to say now, I was like, I'm not closed-minded. Like I think before I was more of a, this is what I know and this is what I know works.
Right.
And everything else aside from that, me vale, güey. O sea,
Simón.
ahí está. Y ahora no, I'm a little bit more receptive to things. Like I'll take the time to listen. I'll take the time to to explore it a little bit more and to see both sides. Whereas before, I was like, nah, esa madre es droga. No, está loco. Oh, why are they doing that? Like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
But now it's like, everybody, if it's out there, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be, two sides to everything. So it just kind of opened up my mind to see other opinions, other beliefs, other thing other than what we are indoctrined to kind of grow up with.
Yeah, programmed.
A lot of it comes from your upbringing, from your parents, and the way your parents kind of bring you up. But then there's so much more things out there. And going back to the digital world way.
Yeah.
Wait, ¿cuántas cosas no se ven ahora?
Big time.
Paranormal activity, pinches UFOs, medication, surgeries, everything that you would have never even heard of or known about had you not seen it on social media.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just opened up the whole world way.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, think about going back to high school. I think in high school, we were still doing like reports out of encyclopedias way. We had to like get a book, read the book, quién sabe qué, put the author and the editors and make sure you listed your sources and everything.
Yeah.
Now you put a sentence on Google, boom, te manda todo reporte. So
Seriously.
it's just like it's out there. It's a vast world of knowledge, and you just have to pick what you like with.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? How everything has shifted. So once you did ayahuasca and this lectura, did you do anything else after that, or no?
No.
Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah, like you feel like you don't need any like.
No, not at the moment. I think it just gave me the peace of mind.
Yeah.
Like the ayahuasca, I just did because it was that calling. Like después de 2 años, why not? Try it. Boom. And then I want to say maybe I wasn't fully satisfied. And I was still like, there was something else. So that's why I did the reading. And then once I got that reading, like, hey, cálmate, like, you're fine. Gracias a Dios, I have everything. We're blessed. Like, we have way more than I could have even ever imagined.
Yeah.
And I was like, just take time, everything happens when it's supposed to happen.
Right.
Let it happen. Obviously, you don't sit here and no va a caer del cielo, ¿verdad? Pero
yes,
you got to put in the work. But for anything, whether it's work or a career or your house or whatever it might be, or a family, you got to put in the work. But, it happens when the right time is there. Sometimes when you urge things or you want to make things happen right away, no salen bien las cosas, güey.
Sí, eso sí.
So I haven't felt the need to try ayahuasca again.
Yeah.
I haven't felt the need to go get another reading. I have this urge of like one day trying las cartas del tarot.
Yeah.
But something in the back of my head is like, no, esa madre es del diablo, so don't do it.
In my perspective, yo no creo. Yo no creo que sea del diablo or anything like that. I just feel like it's there, right? Or ¿por qué piensas que fuera del diablo, güey? ¿Por lo que dicen?
Por lo que dicen, güey.
¿Y quién lo dice?
La gente. La gente que lo ha hecho de que, no, pues que fui con esta señora, un señor, y que, how do they know? Lo que he escuchado, I've never done it.
Yeah.
Que porque tienen una entidad que ya falleció, que les ayuda a decir lo que está pasando con la persona.
Yeah.
And I was like, that shit does not seem like it's from this world,
Right.
It's like, why are you trying to talk to the dead? Let the dead rest.
Pero, okay, so now let me ask you this, right? Porque dices, because this was my point of thought, right? And maybe you see it the same, or if you don't, then maybe you can kind of give me your point of view. So in my perspective, I feel like our current life right now, we're experiencing it in our current frequency, right? That's why you and I are able to connect, because we're in the same frequency. But at times when people take a picture, at times a ghost will appear through the picture, right? Because I guess it bled through this dimension, right? This other frequency. So now that you're saying that, you know what, a lo mejor la lectura or el tarot es el diablo porque hay una entidad, like an entity. Don't you feel like that person has the gift to transition from different frequencies and not necessarily cosa mala?
Yes and no, because it may very well happen.
Ajá.
Pero yo no tengo, o sea, yo no tengo ese poder, o sea, o ese don, o ese gift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I haven't experienced it.
Okay.
¿Cómo saber si es verdad o no?
Okay.
¿Cómo saber si es alguien que falleció o es alguien que tiene ese poder?
Simón.
No se sabe, güey. Entonces muchas veces es pues, hasta no ver, no creer.
Simón.
But sometimes, you know the saying, fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good
Yeah.
off of that.
Yeah.
I don't want no fucking bad juju or any of that.
Yeah, no, and especially like you said, if you don't really feel the urge or anything like that, pues pa qué le mueves, eh?
Sí.
Same thing for me. Like I've done ayahuasca 3 times, and I feel like I want to do it because it's kind of like therapy, but I don't really feel the urge to do it again. At least not now.
Not now.
I would want to in case, like, for instance, if let's say, for instance, you wanted to go, or like another friend, like, okay, let's go. But for me to like just crave wanting to go, I think no. At least not right now. Eventually, I will go. And at the same time, it's just I wonder if I would receive a specific message because I've been putting, or not necessarily promoting, but I guess I've brought more awareness because of the podcast. People sharing their stories or whatnot. I think that's the only curiosity that I would want to go back to see if I would receive a message with that, because I in my point of view, I feel like it's a pretty dope experience that people want to come and share their life experiences with ayahuasca and the different things that they've experienced through life and how ayahuasca has helped them just heal a lot of things. So I wonder if I would receive a message for that.
You've been having quite some people that have tried ayahuasca.
A lot. It's crazy.
It's crazy. And it's weird. Like, again, it's one of those things that if you don't need it, you don't know.
Right.
Until you're within that group of people, or you have that conversation that things like this come up.
Right. Exactly.
I did it honestly because there's always that conversation that it's a drug and it's a recreational drug and whatnot. I did it more for spiritual healing. I felt like at that time I needed the answers, I guess, or something aside from reaching out to God or the universe and whatnot. Yeah. So for me it was more like it wasn't like I'm gonna go try a drug. It was like I'm gonna try and do something spiritual, something different.
Yeah,
like spiritual healing. That's the best way I can put it.
Right.
Y pues a lot of the people that I've been seeing that come on the podcast, like their stories, like it's fucking dope.
It's crazy.
Like the message that you receive and the way that kind of either flicks a switch in your head and you go about life differently.
Yeah,
or you start doing things differently. So I think maybe right now, like for me, once was enough maybe because I haven't felt the urge to do it again. And it's like at this point, I think you might have needed a little bit more for that to feed that artistic side of you, maybe. But I think maybe right now it's like you reached capacity. It was like there's no need. Like the spiritual healing you needed is probably good now.
Yeah, like the deepest message I feel like I needed, I feel like I received, right? But I'm just curious to see now that I've been bringing awareness to, I guess, more people through the podcast. I wonder if there's a message for me to like, continue going or something, like continue doing what you're doing or something like that. I'm just curious, but I'm not going to pressure it either. I'm just going to, if at one point I receive a message to like, hey, go and have another ceremony, then I'll probably go, but there's no urgency for me to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Did I tell you that the session I had, the ceremony I went to, there was a guy in there. I think he was like his 12th time.
Damn.
15th time. He was trying it.
Yeah.
But didn't get a message.
He never got anything?
Nothing. Like when we sit down in the circle and talk about our experiences and whatnot, I remember muchacho, he was like, I took it and I saw everybody kind of lay down and meditate and, do the healing. And I said, no sentí nada.
What?
It's like 12th time. And I remember the shaman is like, es que you're asking for it too much.
Like you need to surrender?
I don't even know if it's a surrender part. It's like como que este güey lo quería huevo. O sea, he was just forcing it.
Yeah.
You got to just let it happen.
Right.
So I was like, man, I don't know what his needs were or what he was going through emotionally or spiritually, but dijo que, güey, 12 veces. Nothing.
Nada? That's crazy.
Nada. And I was like, I went in there and I was like, dang. Había gente que 2 veces, 3 veces, gente que, señores, güey, grandes que dices, ya son papás o son ya veteranos llevando a sus esposas, güey.
Yeah.
Señor llevando a su hija que andaba mal. And I'm like, this can't be a drug.
Nah.
You know, this can't be a drug. People are coming in here because they want that spiritual healing or that open-mindedness of doing things differently o para que vea las cosas diferente.
Yeah.
You can't label that a drug. And I left that place feeling... I went in there feeling guilty, thinking that I was going to go do a drug.
Yeah.
But it ended up being more rewarding, güey.
Yeah.
Me ayudó un chingo esa madre.
Didn't somebody from your family wanted to do it after? I think your sister or your
Yeah,
mom
she
or
wanted
something?
to do it. She wanted to do it.
She never wanted to proceed with it?
Well, she moved up to...
Oh, wait, she did it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I don't know if I'm putting too much out there.
No,
But
okay.
yeah, she did it. Yeah.
She did it. She did it. Yeah, well, it took a while because she went to a different state.
Yeah.
And then she came back and we made it happen for her. And same thing for her. She had a different message for whatever she was going through.
Yeah, but she had a good experience.
She had a good experience, and she only did it once.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
Que va a lebre.
No cree nada.
O nomás hay que darle un vasito y órale.
Órale a dormir. Nah, my brother's something else.
Yeah.
Pero sí te digo, it's a good experience, and it's whatever works for people.
Right.
Is that fix? Whatever fix you have a like an urge for?
Simón.
Si te funciona, te funcionó.
Yeah.
Y ya.
Nice. So ahorita por lo mientras you haven't tried nothing like supernatural or anything like that.
No.
Yeah, yo tampoco, güey.
No.
But I guess that's a good thing, right? Because that means you're in a good stage in your life, right?
Yeah. Everything kind of things happen when they're supposed to. Now I'm a big believer of like it's gonna happen when it's supposed to happen. Yeah. And when things are not meant for you, they're just they find a way to get out of your life.
Yeah.
And I'm at a much better place now. You know, not that I was ever like in a bad place emotionally or depressed, like I would, but you go through ups and downs in life, and then during that time, oh man, it was rough emotionally with the relationship I was in.
Yeah.
Not a toxic relationship, but there was a lot of emotions involved.
Yeah.
Y pues no, y ahora ya with my new partner in crime.
Yeah.
Now con mi pareja nueva, no, es diferente, güey.
¿Y cómo se llama el muchacho?
Se mamó.
No, that's good. I'm just playing.
No más. Gotta throw it out there. No más.
No, that's good. That's a good thing. Well, like a freaking, yeah, I can see a big difference now for sure. Yeah, hasta ni te dejan salir.
No, ese es el trabajo, ese jale, güey, que es un chinga. Like, a veces le pide uno a Dios trabajo y te manda de chingazo, and you're like, all right, well, le toras. You want things. Dice, mamá, ¿te gusta gastar, mijo? Pues chingale.
Yeah.
Work.
Yeah. So now, porque since we're in the holiday season, are you gonna be buying gifts this year or no?
Yeah, but you know what? I think last year and this year I moved away from just buying things to buy things. You know, falling into the whole, this isn't special. Esto tan especial. Esto está $200 menos. O esta madre ni la ocupo, pero se ve curada, la voy a comprar. Nah.
Yeah.
I think more. This year it's more of a what do I need? Not necessarily what I want. Is what do I need?
Right.
What don't I have already that will give me a greater purpose to help me do something else?
Timon.
And the same thing with my family. It's like we kind of talked amongst each other and we're like, ¿qué quieren? O sea,
Yeah.
you know, be realistic.
Yeah.
¿Qué quieren? Algo que les haga falta. Because we can all get TVs. We can all get jewelry.
And I feel like it's the same thing over and over. Siempre las teles, or siempre like something electronic.
Clothing,
Yeah.
shoes. I mean,
Yeah.
we use that every day. So I guess that's not a bad gift. But it's more of a, en realidad, ¿qué quieres? O sea, te ayudo. You want to travel? Here, I'll chip in couple hundred. Go
Right.
travel. Like,
Yeah.
go live that experience.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been wanting to buy a laptop for school.
Right.
There's a couple hundred. Or I want to, I want to go on a trip to Mexico. I want to do this. Want to buy this for my mom. Like, let's all chip in. Like, something that has more purpose.
Yeah.
Other than just buying shit to buy shit.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
It's crazy.
I feel like a lot of people are having the mindset now. Well, at least in my inner circle or from what I've seen or heard, right? Porque hay veces que even like, for example, Chelo me compró que un drone or whatever. it's not the one I wanted, right? Porque yo sé, like, I know more of tech stuff. I'm like, oh shit, I want this one porque hace esto, no hace esto, lo que sea. And the one she got me, I'm like, it's a drone, pero it doesn't help me with what I would have done. So, you know, in a sense, se gastó ese dinero. Because I haven't even used it, güey.
Wait, yo compré un drone hace como 3 años when they started coming out.
Yeah.
Before the ban on flight zones or whatever.
Right.
Never take it out of the box, güey. Ahí está, hasta la fecha.
¿Cuál es, güey?
No sé ni cómo chingado. It's pretty
shit.
big. You can, it's decent size, way.
Yeah.
You have the app, and then you can actually.
It's a DJI or no?
What's DJI?
It's the brand of drones.
I don't even know what brand it is, but I know you can. It has a camera, and it'll feed it to your phone, so you can fly remotely. Yeah. And you can see the feed on your phone.
Oh shit!
And it's pretty cool when I saw it. Y lo agarré en especial y todo eso.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to learn how to fly them. Because I actually have I'm a big Batman fan, so I have a little tiny one, and I knew how to fly that one. So I bought the bigger one to take to, because I also go to the Baja, la Baja races. Para llevármelo a la Baja, güey. Yeah. Lo saqué una vez, lo miré. It looked too complicated. Lo guardé, güey. Dije, no, lo voy a quebrar. Yeah. No, esta madre, I'm going to fly it somewhere. It's going to lose signal and it's going to go, you know. So I just left it there. And I've always told myself, I'm gonna find the time to go to a park where there's space, open space, where I won't, jack it up. I've never done it. Y tiene 3 años el pinche drone ahí, güey.
Yeah, and it goes back to the same thing that we were saying earlier. Was like all the tech stuff and things like that. It's not really your calling. Maybe the thought of it, like, oh shit, like I can use it for this. Mm-hmm. Pero a lo mejor no es lo tuyo que like te pongas ahí and research it or whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me gusta la idea, te digo, pero me dio. Yeah. Creo que me daba más. Me pesaba más el codo, güey, de quebrarlo. De que, madre, estaba. Sí, relatively estaba descuento, pues estaba caro. Sí. Y para quebrarlo dije, nah. Yeah. Hay mejor que se quede. Pero pues it's serving no purpose. It's just there. Might as well break it one day.
Pues sí. Break it on the podcast.
Break it on the podcast. I know, right? Take it out and start flying it.
Yeah, I think this year we're not gonna. I don't think we're gonna buy much. Igual otros regalos que hemos comprado, like no los usan with la gente. So I think to stay away from that, I think this year we're just gonna do the white elephant thing. Y that's it. Make it fun. Y para que no gaste la gente. Like, well, my suegros or whatnot, and Chelo or myself on gifts that hay veces que ni ocupan eso or a lo mejor no les gustan o ahí se quedan, pues. So we're just going to do the white elephant y más tranquilo, pues. And it kind of removes the stress of like, fuck, I need to go buy gifts, get wrapping paper y todo eso.
Oh, that too.
Yeah, so.
It's just for a second. You put all this money into it.
Yeah. But I think it goes back. I think Simón, and I think it goes back to the marketing of it. Porque en realidad Navidad, the purpose of Christmas and all that, it's a whole different meaning. But they made it into a whole like marketing campaign of buying gifts and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Es como todo que el anillo de compromiso, todo ese jale, güey.
That too. Yeah. But ahora que está más fácil, güey. Instead of going shopping, online.
Amazon.
Yeah. Amazon.
Yeah.
Or whatever other media platform they have. Ya ni tienes que salir de la casa, güey.
Yeah. Let me, I had one, like, are you good, güey? You're good? Mm-hmm. I didn't really have topics, but I saw this story that I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
Here, maybe I can bring it up on the screen. Oh, okay. So, Chris, I saw this post. I think it was just yesterday. Are you able to read it right there?
Yeah.
You're able to see it? So, the post that I saw, it says, would you pay $900 a month to live in this tent in Ocean Beach? Let me read it again. Would you pay $900 a month to live in this tent in Ocean Beach?
Nah.
So let me give you my sell point, right?
Okay.
So one, even though it's a tent, but you have a heater, you have a bed inside of this tent. That's one, right? So you have the basic commodities. You're in this backyard, and you're like walking distance from the beach.
Okay.
Why wouldn't you do it for $900 a month?
Why rent it? Why can't I take my own? It's a tent. Like, I don't.
Well, it's in somebody's property, unless you're gonna be freaking out in the street. This isn't okay. So this is another key point.
Okay.
So this tent, it's literally somebody that has a house and in their backyard. Haz de cuenta que yo estuviera rentando una tent aquí con su camita, con su heater, and hey Chris, estoy rentando esta tent, $900 and it's yours. But the only difference is que están cerca de la playa, güey.
It's not appealing to me, güey.
Nah.
No, güey. Yo no pagaría 900.
Why not?
Es que, o sea, que no entiendo qué diferencia. Para mí,
Simón.
¿qué diferencia tiene, güey, irle a pagar $900 a alguien por una tent?
Yeah.
When I could buy a $40, $50 one and go put it on the beach myself.
That's interesting.
And not have to pay anybody $900.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, granted, if this is the only place, let's say I was in a position where this is the only place. De estar en la calle with all the elements out there, being subject to being mugged or harassed or whatever, being on the beach. If I had no other option, this was the only option for safety purposes, I would.
Oh, you bring up a good point. For safety purposes, you would be in a safe place because you're literally in somebody's property, right? Nobody's going to bug you. Maybe you're in a business trip in comparison to staying in an Airbnb or whatnot. I don't know how much they would charge. I'm thinking, well, like $70 a day. Let's say you're staying in San Diego for a month, right? And you don't know anybody, but you come across this post that says $900 a month. You have a safe place. You're close by the beach. In reality, you just need this place to come and sleep or whatnot. You're safe for a month.
Honestly, I think it goes to back to your lifestyle. If you're like I could see this working out for like a backpacker.
Yeah.
Somebody who's just being on the go constantly. Yeah. That's fine. But no, you don't know. I'm more of a. I don't want to say I like luxuries, but I like a stable place.
Yeah.
I like to a home, or at the very minimum a room where.
Yeah.
Like, put me inside a house. I'll pay you $900 for a room.
Yeah. Here, let me play it. Maybe see if it changes your mind.
Okay.
I'll play it right now.
So this was just put out there to see people's.
No. It was actually somebody actually put it on. I think it was Craigslist or something like that. Yeah. Okay. Here, let's play it.
Finding a place to stay or call home in San Diego's beach communities can be difficult. Some people are going to extremes to find housing or even provide it. NBC7 digital producer Eric Page and reporter Brooke Martell show us how one woman is using her backyard to give tenants the option to rent a tent. But is that even allowed?
I'm trying to help people have more housing options at different price points.
A different price point and for some different accommodations. This 10 by 12 foot Ocean Beach backyard furnished tent was listed for rent on Craigslist. The price, $900 per month.
The thing about the price is that it's not the same as an empty room that you rent for $900 in a shared home, because on this property, the property gets cleaned every day.
Included in that price, utilities, an electric warming mattress, a light night table, and zippable doors and windows. Another consideration of the nearly $1,000 price tag.
It is high because we're close to the beach, and there's my landlord knows that the place could be used as a vacation rental and could make a lot of money.
Tara is a tenant too, renting a room in the main house. She says her landlord agreed for her to rent out the other bedrooms on Airbnb. And previously, this outdoor dwelling was on that app too.
Usually the person staying in the tent, they would either be in town visiting family, so they just needed a bed, because there's no bed at their family's house here in OB.
However, Tara told NBC7 she no longer uses that platform to rent the tent. Here's why.
Well, yeah, I don't have a permit to rent out the tent on Airbnb, so the city doesn't allow people to live in tents anymore.
According to the city's short-term residential occupancy ordinance, you can't rent a tent.
Before the city shut down my tent, it was a tent in the backyard where the person could use everything in the house.
The criticism hasn't only come from the city, but online too.
I had a few people respond when I was looking for tenants to stay in here, like, you've got to be crazy. $1,000 to stay in a tent? What is this?
As for if someone did or didn't respond to her Craigslist posting, Tara, who asked that we don't identify her by her last name, also said she didn't want to share that information with us. Brooke Martell, NBC7.
NBC7 reached out to the city for comment on Tara's situation and to discuss the legality of renting tents in backyards. We have not heard back from the city, but the city code does prohibit vehicles, shipping containers, tree houses, teepees, and others from being used as short-term rental.
Oh, hell no.
What do you think?
No way. There's no way I would pay $900 for it.
That's crazy though, right? Like for somebody even to consider that, to like, I'm going to be renting out a tent. You think it's a lot of difference in comparison to when people rent a trailer in somebody's home in the backyard?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? What do you think is the difference?
It's the structure way. I mean, you're talking about a tent. I mean, granted, it's an OB. I mean, we're in San Diego, so there's a bunch of beach cities,
right?
Or it is a beach town, whatever you want to call it. But no way. I don't know. I mean, tents were never meant for housing. They're just temporary. Way.
But let me ask you this now, because right now that you said that, right? Gente se va a acampar, güey.
Yo lo hago cada que voy a las carreras, güey. I camp out every time I go to the Baja races. I'm out there in la pinche sierra acampando, güey.
So what's the difference of camping out here, close by to the beach? You're in a safe place.
There's something wrong with having that being my living space. Like I can't picture myself doing that.
Yeah. I think it would just be like for a short term, like, right? Maybe somebody that's really into surfing, $900.
That's what I'm saying, like a backpacker, someone who has no relatives or maybe no family with them or no desire to be hanging out with anybody in the. I mean, even if you have a girlfriend, maybe she's a backpacker, she's down to be there with you.
Simón.
But no stay away. I just wouldn't.
Porque como cuánto sale un cuarto o un Airbnb al día o más o menos como unos, what, $70, $100?
70, 80, but then there's a cleaning fee. Which cleaning fees on the $40, $60 at times. It ends up being almost $100.
So let's say $100. So if you're here for a whole month, sí te vas a gastar como unos $3,000, no?
Yeah, it could get up to that.
Yeah.
But you're talking about the all the commodities that come with being in a home, güey.
Simón.
Like, pinche aire va a soplar, güey, no se te va a detener, güey.
Yeah.
Pinche calor, you put the AC on, you close your windows, you'll be, room temperature. I don't know. I see what she's trying to do.
Yeah.
And I get it. There's a lot of need for housing in San Diego.
Yeah.
And maybe somebody wants to experience something different. Because I tell you, like I was telling you, there's glamping. I don't know if you heard about that.
No, what is that?
Glamping is instead of going to hotels, you go to tents. You rent them out for the weekend, for 2 or 3 days. A lot of these are in... I haven't gone to any ones here in California or San Diego, pero en Valle de Guadalupe, güey. In Valle de Guadalupe, hay muchos glamping spots. And it's basically a tent. And you have the basic necessities, cama, towels, todo. All the sauna or the hot tub is outside. The restrooms are outside. Basically, you just use that spot to sleep. But you know that going there, you damn well are not going to stay there for a whole week or 2 weeks. Es nomás un fin de semana, güey.
Got it. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's the difference, pues.
It's more of a, let's try something different, like a different experience.
¿Cómo cuánto sale algo así?
El glamping, when it started, it was like 60 a night, like 60, 65. So también te gastabas en el weekend, te andabas gastando unos 140, 180.
Okay.
Plus, a lot of these places don't have refrigerated, like a cooler.
Okay.
So you gotta take your ice chest.
So for the price point, I don't think it's that bad, right?
No.
Right. It's, let's say somebody that goes, hey, I want to stay by the beach and fuck it. If I want to experience like being in a tent and being close by, I really just care about being by the beach.
I think it also has to do with the budget, way. If you have, si tienes la feria,
yeah,
whatever, just a different experience.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah.
You know, here you go. Let's just do it. And you do it. You get it over with. You have that experience. You said you did it.
Yeah.
It was for me 100 for a tent. It's just no.
Yeah, it's a lot. I would want to do it if I'm spending $900.
No.
Yeah.
Like give me a room for a whole month. But I mean, you could. The tent's probably for the whole month too. But
no, it's for the whole month.
For the whole month.
Yeah,
no,
900.
I don't know. Yeah. I guess in my head, just tents for me were meant for like temporary housing.
Yeah.
For camping trips. I don't ever see it as a living space.
Yeah.
No más no.
You know what's crazy that people rent out, that I was like, what the heck? That even Everett was the one that told me about this, that they rent out pools.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what the heck?
I've been doing that.
I've never heard of that.
That's true. Way.
So for me, that's like, what the hell? You rent somebody's freaking pool? And so for the people that don't know, like there's people that they have a pool at their home and they rent it out for people like for an hour or 2 hours, and you pay it through an app, and then you're able to go and just be at the pool for about an hour.
I didn't know about my brother and one of his girlfriends are the ones that do it. Cada rato, they're like, oh, they just homeowners with pools. I mean, think about it. If you have a pool, how many days are you actually going to it?
Yeah.
Maybe when you're new to it, you go in there every week, every day.
Yeah.
And then you're like, pues ahí está cuando venga la familia, whatever.
Right.
Then you get to a point where it's just sitting there. And so I don't know what the app is. My brother has it. It's basically like Airbnb.
Yeah.
People will put their pools out there for, I think, sometime minimum of 2 hours.
Yeah.
Para que les costee, güey.
Simón.
And then you rent it for 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It varies. I mean, I've seen some of these homes are like, you're talking houses in like Rancho San Diego or like like almost mansion type looking homes.
Yeah.
And I haven't done it. He's invited me to it.
Yeah.
I haven't done it, but when I saw the idea, way, like people are just monetizing on everything, way.
But you figure crazy. If people have those houses, right? They can afford those houses, or at least you figure they can afford those houses. Why even like go through the headache of having just random people come into your pool? I personally wouldn't do it. Like, I mean, que Dios me, que how do you say it? Que Dios me perdone.
Me libre.
Yeah, que Dios me perdone, ¿verdad? Pero I wouldn't want to do that. I don't want no random person ahí que se me ahí.
Okay, you got a point. But you ever heard the saying that cash is king?
Nah.
Or money talks?
Yeah.
Anyway, si te digo, maybe you don't need it. Maybe I don't need it.
Yeah.
Si te digo, te voy a dar $100. You wouldn't take them? Let's say I'm a millionaire. Because you know, like Mr. Beast. Let's talk about Mr. Beast. You know, I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's another tatted guy. I don't know his name. He just goes around.
Yeah.
And you can tell these guys are well off. Like
yeah.
They're riding Lambos and Ferrari. No les falta la feria, güey.
Simón.
And you know that. Okay, so it's not like you're taking money from the homeless or the needy.
All right.
He comes up to you. Y te dice, here you go, te doy 100 bolas, nomás porque me gustó tu gorra.
Okay.
Oh, I like your artwork, or I like something like,
right.
You're fresh. Here you go. Boom, $100. You wouldn't take them?
Yeah, of course. But that's different from somebody going into, por ejemplo, tú rentaras tu baño, güey. But, there's people that rent out their bathrooms, güey.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. It goes back to the same thing.
Hey, see, that's more like...
La pool también, güey, porque people are nasty, güey.
Oh, yeah.
People can freaking, like, blow their nose into the pool. They can pee. Se les cae comida, güey.
True.
You know, I wouldn't want that. Now, a comparación un baño, they're just using the restroom and that's it.
But bathrooms? Like your home?
Yeah.
Your home bathroom? Yeah. I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, si te ofrezco...
You sit your ass in that toilet, so no.
Hey, adentro del agua estás nadando, güey. You don't know what the hell happened in there.
Yeah, but there's a shit ton of chlorine in there.
Fuck.
And then you can get people to come and clean it. It's like it's more of a commercial thing, I think.
I'm
just thinking if people might be well off and they have the money to afford those homes or to have the pools. So an extra 100, 200, whatever they're bringing in, I don't think there's another saying that I like. It takes money to make money.
I think I would rent out the pool if I'm not going into the pool. You get it? Like, okay, I'll rent it out. It's there, but I won't go into the pool after it gets cleaned out. Now, if I'm planning to use the pool, then I won't rent it out for that specific period. Y ya que la gente se quiera meter o lo que sea, fine. Because I'm using it for that specific time para rentarla. Now, let's say, hey, but I know by next weekend I want to use it, then I'll get it cleaned out, then I'll use it.
Oh, okay. See, well, I'm sure that's what people are doing.
Yeah.
I don't think people would go in there knowing that a whole crowd went in there and then ya se fueron, ahora me toca a mí, güey. Nah, I don't think that's. But that's crazy. I mean, the whole tent thing.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like San Diego is insane for the rent prices. There's no rent control here.
It's getting crazy.
Chula Vista's a little better, but San Diego.
And Chula Vista's getting worse and worse. They're building so much freaking properties over there.
No.
So many, especially like in the East Lake area. East Lake and Otay Ranch, it used to be like the nicer area, but now they're building so many condos over there. So many. It's just going to get out of hand. There was a shooting just recently.
En Tijuana, güey, le dicen pichoneras. Luego las privadas.
Yeah.
They're just side by side.
Yeah.
Las privadas, and it's like, from this wall to the next wall, you can hear everything what they're saying. That's how it's becoming because there's so many people here in San Diego.
Yeah. Well, anyways, how do you like that little segment? Right? Like, I want to eventually continue doing those little segments. I'm like, hey, what do you think of this?
Oh, I like it.
That's cool, huh?
It's a little, it's relevant, like, to whatever's going on. Or maybe it's not relevant to what's going on in the city. But
it's just current hot topics.
Hot topics takes away from the conversation. I like it.
Chris, thank you for coming over.
You gotta tell me your New Year's resolution.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Are you gonna do more podcasts before the end of the year?
Yeah. Okay. So this is episode. I think this is gonna be episode 46. My goal for this year, quería llegarle a los 50 or 49 y comenzar el año nuevo with episode 50. With 50. I think I'm gonna be able to make it porque ¿cuántas semanas quedan en el año?
So this is the second week. We got 3 more weeks.
3 more weeks?
Yeah.
So, I might have to shoot an extra podcast. 2 podcasts in 1 week. Pero sí, quería llegarle a at least episode 49 y comenzar el año nuevo con episode 50. Kind of like a la mitad del 100. But, what was your question, Wei?
One goal for your... maybe you can do this for the next 3 podcasts. Share one goal or one New Year's resolution goal.
So my New Year's resolution is to continue exactly what I'm doing, but better way. Like, to be quite frank, I think I've always been the same. That the goal hasn't changed. It's just the strategy behind it or the effort. Like, everything that I'm currently doing right now, I really, really love it. So I want to continue doing it. But now it's just like, okay, Angel, you gave a whole year dedicated to the podcast, learning how everything goes. So now my goal is to, okay, you have the podcast. Now you set your foundation for that. Now continue doing what you were doing with the artwork. You have the artwork. Now, even though you're doing both, which is more now, but you have more of a control and a system with it, then okay, have everything going and still live your life. Still have time for friends and life in general.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. What about you?
So you're always working hard.
I want to. This is my dream.
Yeah.
This is my dream, and I love it. If I didn't love it, I think I would. I think it would show. I think it would show right away, or I wouldn't be as consistent. But I love it. Look, because of the podcast, we had a good conversation, and out of this conversation, I get to create content, and it kind of feeds that artistic side that I have. So,
and your personal goals, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, what about you? New Year's resolution, at least one. Personal.
So I've been having this. So we're always traveling. Like I've gone to a lot of places. I've traveled. Like, basically all of the West Coast, ya la conozco. Hasta Tijuana, hasta Los Cabos también.
Simón.
And I've done some East Coast trips and Midwest. So it's like I'm getting to a point where there's this little itch in me to start going abroad. Like me gustaría. I would like for next year. I would like to go to like Italy or France. Like just take a trip out there, and if I can, take my mom with me because she's been wanting to. She has always talked about going to Rome. She's always get it out of Roma, and with my siblings now that they're older, we've been thinking about she does. I don't know if she sees this or not, but we'll see if we can surprise her by taking her on a trip to Rome.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah, so I'm shooting for that next year.
Yeah,
because time flies. Times fly.
Yeah.
So that's at least one of my goals, and if you book it right, it's actually quite cheap.
Yeah.
If you plan it right.
Yeah.
But I would like to do that as a personal goal, and then just for my mom. Si le pudiera cumplir ese deseo a mi mamá, I would hit what do you call it? You hit 2 birds with 1 stone.
Right. Exactly. Like that. It's a good one.
So I'm looking forward to that next year.
And another one for me. This is aside from my goals, but we talked about it. But it's about like spending time more with friends, at least once a month.
Right.
All right. I think that would be a big one because I think I was telling Chelo that the inner circle or the small family that you're close with or friends, it just continues getting smaller and smaller. And I don't know if you've seen that, right? But a lot of people that, at least from my experience at work and just friends, people are passing away when we're getting older.
Yeah. Right.
So I think it's just working hard towards dreams, but at the same time, not forget and put aside like your loved ones or the people that matter for you.
Sure. I agree with that.
So even if I had to schedule you for a podcast,
I'd come. I know we had a couple of days that we were supposed to meet up and it didn't happen, but we all fall into the pitfalls of responsibilities and work, and si no es una cosa es otra, güey. And social media, it's like la neta, güey, te veo, see your videos, and he's fine.
Yeah. Hey, but it's not about that.
He's bringing people, he's está bien, lo veo bien. I see him healthy.
Yeah.
He's
but it's uploading. Not about that way.
Right. But I fall. I'm not gonna say you or anyone, but I fall into that tendency to believe that you're fine because I can see you. Güey.
Yeah.
Si no te viera y no me hablas, si no mandas mensajes o no, pues dónde está el ángel qué estará haciendo con su vida? Like you get that little urge, pero te veo bien, güey.
Yeah.
It may be the same thing with other friends or cousins or everything. Oh, they just uploaded a story andaban de vacaciones, or they were taking a shot. They're enjoying themselves. So it kind of takes away that, for me, it takes away that need to kind of follow up. But you're right. It's not about that.
Yeah.
But me visually being able to see that they're fine makes me think that they're fine. Y el amor, you're going through some shit y nadie sabe porque, you what we show on TV or social media is only what we want people to see.
Right.
It's never the real thing. It's just what we want people to see.
Yeah.
And we don't know that. And you're right. That's where I totally agree with you. We should take more time to hang out with people in person.
Yeah.
Bring instead of the messages and the text messages and the voicemails and everything that comes with it. But I like that way. I would like to commit to that también, güey, porque I think siempre te he dicho, I think you're a better friend than I am, güey. Because you're always reaching out. You're always like, hey, güey, te pierdes, ¿dónde andas? It's
in a sense, güey. In a sense. In that point, yeah. But también that I can't forget all the different times that you've been there for me, güey. Because you've taken time to come and help me build this. Other times when we were much younger, güey, hey, Chris, ocupo esto, you were there for me. Right. So I guess it's unas por otras.
Unas por otras, yeah. You find that balance.
Yeah.
Te digo, y ahorita, pues, gracias a Dios, güey, no tenemos hijos. ¿Quién sabe ya después?
Yeah. ¿Cuándo viene?
I don't know. Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Cuando lleguen, serían bienvenidos.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready. There's a I think women run on a biological clock.
Yeah.
I think guys, we run on a financial clock.
Yeah.
And I'm in a good place now, I think.
That's good.
So it's like, el día que pase, bienvenido.
Yeah.
We'll bring it on.
Well, Chris, I think you would be one of those people that I would want to continue having onto the podcast with, just having conversations like this one way. So maybe that's going to be the only way to freaking drag you
in here. Oh, wait, not at all. I'll be here more often. Te digo, no, es que there's been a lot of, for me, there's been a lot of change, like personal change in the past year for me.
Yeah.
También con el trabajo y todo, transitioning with that, and it takes up time. It's mentally exhausting. So llegas ya al pinche 7, 8, güey, all you want to do sometimes. I'll be honest with you, a veces ni tele veo, güey.
Yeah.
Just want to rest.
You're getting older, güey.
Because you go at it the next day.
You're 36 already?
No, 35.
35? Okay.
Sí, güey.
Fuck.
Ya voy a llegar a los 40.
All right.
¿Te acuerdas? Si teníamos 16, 17, güey, cuando nos conocimos.
Fuck. Chris, well, thank you, güey. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for sharing a little bit of your journey, your life, and any final words?
Nah, man. Pleasure being here.
Yeah.
As usual.
Yeah.
I sorry for not being here as often as you would want me to be here. Yeah. Pero pues we'll make it a New Year's resolution.
Okay.
Right?
Now make this into a resolution too. I'm gonna post, share at least the podcast clips. You don't have to upload it to your actual Instagram, but at least in the stories way.
Okay.
I'll tag you and you can just share it in your stories.
Es lo que te digo, y esa madre cómo se hace, güey.
Let's see. I'll show you, güey.
Okay, like you see it and it's like, okay, well then.
Yeah.
You know, so like, there's like the thumbtacks you do y todo eso.
Sí, man.
Like a veces lo veo, qué chido.
Yeah.
It goes here, but it's like, how do you?
I'll show you.
Yeah, look at the deal. It's like if you're not into it, or maybe I haven't taken the time to see more into it. But yeah, let me know and I'll do it.
Alrighty. So if you made it this far, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe to the channel. If there's something that Chris said, reach out to Chris. I'll make sure to leave his social media here. Once again, this is Angel Houseman and Hoy Nomás podcast. It's a greater risk, not taking a risk. Till next time.
Peace out.